Every single day of your life, you are either moving closer to your destiny or drifting further away from it. There is no neutral ground. The question is, are you deliberately building the habits that create success, fulfillment, and unstoppable momentum? Or are you letting life just happen to you? Today, I'm going to share with you 10 things, 10 non-negotiables you must work on every single day if you want to take your life from ordinary to extraordinary. Because success isn't built in a day, it's built daily. Every day begins with a choice, a decision that sets the tone for everything that follows. And the truth is, most people don't realize how much power they give away in those first few moments of the day. They grab their phone, they scroll, they check the news, they react to whatever comes at them. And before they even know it, they're already playing defense against the world. But if you want to live an extraordinary life, if you want to rise above average, you must take control of your mind from the very start. Because your mind is not just something you carry around. It's the control center for your destiny. What you feed it, how you direct it, the state you put it in every morning, those choices will shape everything that follows. Think about it, the mind left on autopilot will drift toward fear, doubt, and scarcity. That's human wiring. It will find what's wrong, what's missing, what might go wrong. That's survival. But if you let survival thinking run your life, you'll never step into thriving. So what you have to do every single morning is interrupt that pattern and deliberately program your mind to serve you instead of sabotage you. This is not motivational fluff, it's the science of focus. Whatever you focus on, you feel. Whatever you feel consistently, you act on. And your actions repeated daily. That's what creates your destiny. So how do you master your mind every morning? It begins with gratitude. Gratitude isn't just some soft, fluffy idea. It's the antidote to fear. You cannot be angry and grateful at the same time. You cannot be fearful and grateful at the same time. When you wake up and deliberately feel gratitude for what you already have, your health, your family, your breath, the opportunities ahead, you shift your state from scarcity to abundance. You teach your brain that you already have more than enough. And when you come from enough, you make decisions differently, you interact with people differently, you see opportunities instead of obstacles. Then comes visualization. This isn't daydreaming, it's mental rehearsal. Every great athlete, every high achiever, every peak performer in any field uses visualization. Why? Because the brain doesn't fully distinguish between what's vividly imagined and what's real. When you rehearse success in your mind, seeing yourself taking the actions, hearing the sounds, feeling the emotions, you are conditioning your nervous system to follow through in reality. You're planting a blueprint for your mind and body to execute. Most people only imagine what they fear, what they don't want. And guess what? They end up creating it. But if you flip it and condition yourself to see what you do want, to feel it as if it's already real, your actions line up and pull that vision into your life. And then you ask yourself empowering questions. Not questions like, why do bad things always happen to me? Or, why can't I get a break? Because your brain is like Google. It will find whatever answer you demand from it. If you ask disempowering questions, you'll get disempowering answers. But if you ask questions like, what can I be excited about today? What can I do today to grow? Who can I love, appreciate, or help today? Suddenly your mind starts filtering the world through a different lens. You begin spotting opportunities, connections, and possibilities you wouldn't have seen otherwise. And here's the real key. It's not about doing this once or twice. It's about making it a ritual, because repetition builds identity. Every single morning, you are either training your mind to be your servant or your master. And once it becomes a ritual, it's not effort anymore. It's who you are. You don't just do gratitude, you become gratitude. You don't just visualize success, you become a creator. You don't just ask empowering questions, you live in an empowered state. When you start your day with this level of mental mastery, you carry it into everything else. You walk into work differently. You interact with your partner differently. You show up with energy, certainty, and clarity. And people feel that. Opportunities feel that. Life responds to that. The world doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you are willing to demand of yourself and what you're prepared to handle. And preparation begins every single morning by mastering your mind. So if you want to change your life, don't wait for circumstances. Don't wait for luck. Don't wait for some perfect moment. Start tomorrow morning by mastering your mind and watch how the world begins to shift in your favor. Your body is the vessel that carries everything you dream about, everything you want to experience, and everything you hope to create. And yet, so many people go through life treating their body like it's optional, like they can just push it aside and still expect to live with passion, energy, and drive. But the truth is, without energy, nothing else matters. You can have all the strategies, all the dreams, all the plans, but if you don't have the energy to execute, those plans remain just words on a page. Energy is the invisible force that fuels confidence, focus, and resilience. It's what allows you to show up fully for your family, for your career, and for your mission in life. Think about it. Have you ever had a day where you felt unstoppable, where your energy was high, your mind was clear, and everything seemed to flow? On that day, did the challenges seem smaller? Did opportunities appear more obvious? Of course they did. That's because energy changes perception. When your body is alive, when it's vibrant, when it's strong, you don't see problems the same way. You see possibilities. On the flip side, when you're drained, when you're sluggish, when your body is tired, even the simplest tasks feel overwhelming. The way you feel physically bleeds into every decision you make. So the question is, what are you doing every single day to strengthen your body and create more energy? It doesn't have to be complicated. It's about consistency. Move your body daily. You don't need a 2-hour gym session or a perfect fitness plan. Just move. Dance, stretch, run, lift, jump, breathe deeply. Do something to tell your body, I'm alive and I'm here to thrive. Motion creates emotion. When you move your body with intensity, you shift your state, you release stress, and you awaken a part of yourself that is otherwise dormant. Fuel is another key. What you put into your body is either building your energy or stealing it. Food isn't just calories, it's information. It tells your body how to perform, how to heal, how to sustain you. And yet so many people fuel themselves with things that slow them down, that make them foggy, that drain their vitality. If you want peak energy, you've got to feed your body in a way that supports life, not just in the moment, but for the long game. You wouldn't put dirty fuel in a sports car and expect it to perform at its peak. Why would you do that to the most sophisticated machine you'll ever own? Your body. And hydration. Don't underestimate it. Most people are walking around dehydrated, and they don't even realize that fatigue, lack of focus, and irritability often come from simply not giving the body enough water. Something as simple as starting your day with a big glass of water instead of coffee can completely shift how you feel. Breath is life itself. The way you breathe determines how much energy flows through your body. Shallow, unconscious breathing keeps you in survival mode. Deep, intentional breathing floods your body with oxygen, with vitality, with presence. Even taking a few minutes each morning to breathe fully, to expand your lungs, to center yourself. It's like flipping the switch from tired to alive. And let's not forget rest. High performers don't just push relentlessly without recovering. They know that recovery is part of performance. Sleep is not a luxury, it's a weapon. It repairs, it restores, it resets the mind and body so you can come back stronger. When you take care of your body daily, you're not just adding years to your life. You're adding life to your years. You're giving yourself the gift of energy, and energy is what multiplies every other area of success. Because with energy, you can give more to your relationships. With energy, you can push further in your career. With energy, you can create and build and contribute at a higher level. So don't treat your body like it's secondary to your dreams. Treat it as the foundation because it is. Master your body and you master your energy. Master your energy and you master your life. Life will test you. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. The phone call you never expected, the deal that falls apart, the person you trusted who lets you down, the plan that blows up in your face, these moments come for everyone. And in those moments, it's not your talent, your education, or your resources that determine how you move forward. It's your emotional resilience. It's your ability to take the hit and keep moving, to feel the sting without letting it define you, to stand tall when life tries to knock you down. That strength doesn't come from avoiding pain, it comes from building yourself every single day to handle it. See, most people think success is about controlling everything around them, about making sure nothing ever goes wrong. But that's impossible. The real power is not in controlling circumstances, but in controlling your response. Emotional resilience means you don't let the outside world dictate your inner world. It means you can walk into chaos and still find calm. It means when others break, you bend but you don't shatter. That's the strength that separates those who just survive from those who thrive. Now, building that kind of inner strength doesn't happen overnight. It's a daily practice. It's catching yourself when anger wants to run the show and instead choosing patience. It's noticing when fear starts whispering lies in your ear and choosing courage anyway. It's feeling the disappointment and refusing to let it poison your vision. Emotional resilience is a muscle. And like any muscle, it only grows if you train it. If you avoid discomfort, if you numb yourself with distractions, you rob yourself of the chance to grow. But if you lean into challenges, if you allow yourself to face what hurts and still choose to rise, that's when you start to see just how powerful you really are. Think about the people you admire most, the ones who inspire you. It's never the ones who had a perfect life, who never had to struggle. It's the ones who fell and got back up. The ones who were knocked down 10 times but stood up 11. That's resilience. That's strength. That's what makes a human being unstoppable. And every one of us has that ability within us. It's not reserved for the chosen few. It's available to anyone who decides to cultivate it. And there's another side to resilience most people overlook: empathy. Real strength isn't about being cold or shutting down your emotions. It's about learning how to feel deeply without being controlled by those feelings. It's about having compassion for others even when you're in pain yourself. When you can meet anger with understanding, when you can meet rejection with grace, when you can meet hardship with gratitude. You're not just resilient, you're unshakable. Because nothing on the outside has the power to break what's unbreakable inside. The beautiful thing about building resilience is that it's contagious. When you're calm in the storm, others feel safe around you. When you choose courage, others are inspired to do the same. When you refuse to let life's blows define you, you give silent permission for those around you to rise as well. That's how leaders are made. Not in moments of comfort, but in moments of chaos, when they show people what it looks like to stay grounded, centered, and strong. And here's the truth: you will have pain. You will face setbacks. You will encounter loss, rejection, and failure. But resilience transforms that pain into wisdom. It turns setbacks into setups. It uses loss as a reminder of what matters most. It takes every single challenge and converts it into fuel. That doesn't mean you won't feel it. You will. But you'll also know you can face it, you can grow through it, and you can come out the other side stronger than you were before. So don't ask for an easier life. Ask to become a stronger person. Don't pray for fewer challenges. Pray for the capacity to rise higher than any challenge. Because when you build emotional resilience, there is nothing life can throw at you that you cannot handle, and nothing can stop you from living fully alive. Growth is the heartbeat of life. The moment you stop growing, the moment you stop stretching yourself, that's the moment you begin to wither. Human beings are not designed to stay the same. We are built for progress, for expansion, for evolution. And the truth is, progress is what creates happiness. You can achieve something amazing, you can hit a goal, but after the celebration fades, what gives you that deep sense of fulfillment is knowing you're still moving forward, that you're not stuck, that you're becoming more than you were yesterday. But growth doesn't just happen. You have to choose it. You have to carve out time every single day to feed your mind, to challenge your beliefs, to sharpen your skills. And it doesn't matter if it's reading a book, listening to something inspiring, studying your craft, or learning from someone who's further along the path than you are. What matters is that you're consistently investing in yourself. Because when you grow, everything around you grows. Your relationships improve because you bring more to the table. Your career expands because your value multiplies. Your confidence rises because you know you're not the same person you were yesterday. And growth isn't always comfortable. In fact, it rarely is. It pushes you into places where you don't feel certain, where you don't feel safe, where you feel exposed. But that's where transformation lies. If you only stay where you're comfortable, you'll never discover the strength that lies dormant inside you. Growth is stepping into the unknown and trusting that you'll figure it out. It's saying, I may not know everything yet, but I'm willing to learn. That humility, that hunger, that's what separates the people who soar from the people who settle. But growth alone isn't enough. You could grow for yourself, build yourself, develop your skills, and still feel empty if you stop there. Because life isn't just about what you get, it's about what you give. Contribution is the second half of the equation, and it's what turns growth into purpose. When you take what you've learned, what you've overcome, what you've built, and you share it with others, that's when your life begins to have depth. Contribution gives meaning to the struggle, it gives purpose to the lessons, it takes your personal victories and multiplies them by impacting others. Think about it, when have you felt most alive? It wasn't when you were just sitting back, receiving, doing everything for yourself. It was when you gave something of yourself, your time, your energy, your love, your wisdom, and you saw it touch someone else's life. That's because we are wired for connection, wired for contribution. And when we align growth with giving, that's when we step into fulfillment. Contribution doesn't have to be massive. You don't have to build schools or donate millions to make a difference. Sometimes contribution is as simple as encouraging someone who's struggling, mentoring a younger person who needs guidance, or even showing up fully for the people you love. Every day you have the chance to contribute, to lift someone, to give value. And when you make that a priority, you don't just change their world, you change yours. And here's the beautiful part: the more you grow, the more you have to give. And the more you give, the more you want to grow. It becomes a cycle of abundance, a cycle that feeds both you and everyone around you. Growth without contribution feels empty. Contribution without growth eventually feels limited. But when you live in both, you live in the sweet spot where fulfillment thrives. So don't let a single day go by where you're not investing in yourself and pouring into others. Don't settle for comfort when you were made for growth. Don't hold back your gifts when the world needs what only you can give. Because when you grow and when you contribute, you don't just build a life of success, you build a life of significance. Nothing happens until you take action. You can have the most brilliant vision, the most inspiring goals, the clearest plan in the world, but if you don't move, if you don't take that first step, it all remains a dream. And the longer you wait, the heavier that dream becomes. People often think they're stuck because they don't have the right resources, or they're waiting for the perfect timing, or they're waiting for the fear to disappear. But let me tell you, fear doesn't disappear by waiting, it disappears by moving forward in spite of it. Action is the antidote to fear. Action is what transforms ideas into reality. Every single day, you must train yourself to take steps toward your vision, no matter how small. Because momentum is built in the doing, not in the waiting. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll never move. Readiness doesn't come first, courage does. You act, and then readiness follows. That's why the most successful people aren't the ones who had it all figured out. They're the ones who just kept moving forward, one imperfect action at a time, learning, adjusting, and building momentum as they went. The beauty of taking action is that it creates clarity. People get paralyzed because they're trying to figure out step 10 before they've taken step 1. But when you move, when you take that first step, step 2 begins to reveal itself. And when you take step 2, step 3 comes into view. Action creates feedback, and feedback creates direction. Without action, you're stuck in the land of someday. With action, you're in the process of creating destiny. But here's what stops most people. They think too big without breaking it down small enough. They overwhelm themselves with the size of the mountain instead of focusing on the next step. You don't need to climb the entire mountain today. You just need to move one step higher than you were yesterday. Small, consistent actions compound into unstoppable momentum. The gym session today doesn't transform your body, but 90 of them will. Making one phone call today won't build a business, but 100 of them will. Writing one page today won't create a book, but 1,000 will. Success is built in the daily disciplines, the small steps repeated over and over until the extraordinary feels inevitable. And don't forget to celebrate progress along the way. Most people are so fixated on the finish line that they never give themselves credit for how far they've already come. When you acknowledge progress, even in small ways, you fuel your own motivation. You create positive reinforcement that keeps you moving forward. Progress is the real secret to happiness, and progress only comes through action. Now, taking relentless action doesn't mean you'll never stumble. You will. You'll fail, you'll get rejected, you'll take wrong turns. But each time you act, you're gathering information, you're building strength, you're proving to yourself that you can move through resistance. Every stumble is a stepping stone if you keep walking. The only real failure is refusing to act at all. And let's be honest, there will never be a perfect time. Life will always be busy. There will always be uncertainty. There will always be reasons to wait. But if you keep waiting for the conditions to be right, you'll spend your life waiting instead of living. The right time is the moment you decide to start. That decision, that one moment of saying, "I'm moving forward now," can change everything. So each day, demand action from yourself. Set your intentions, decide what matters most, and take deliberate steps toward it. Don't just talk about it, don't just think about it, live it. Because the people who create extraordinary lives are not the ones who sit back and wish. They're the ones who take relentless action and refuse to stop until their vision becomes real. So stop waiting, stop hesitating. Take action today, and let that action be the spark that creates the momentum to carry you forward into the life you were meant to live. At the end of the day, everything we've talked about, mastering your mind, strengthening your body, building emotional resilience, committing to growth and contribution, and taking relentless action. These are not one-time choices. They're daily disciplines. They're the things that separate those who live by default from those who live by design. Life isn't going to hand you your dreams. Life is going to test you, stretch you, challenge you, and at times break you. But if every single day you decide to rise up, to own your mind, to protect your energy, to strengthen your emotions, to grow and give, and to take massive action, then no challenge can hold you back. Because success isn't built in one day. It's built day by day in the small choices, the repeated habits, the moments where you refuse to settle. So don't just listen to these words, live them. Decide today that every day moving forward, you will work on these things, because when you do, you won't just create success. You'll create a life of impact, a life of fulfillment, a life worth living.